Hello there, my friends. My name is Thoughtline, and in this confusing time of international conflict and uncertainty, I'm here to teach you how you as well can start your very own war in the Middle East. I'm so unfit, it's not even funny. Your first step to starting your war in the Middle East is obviously a preemptive strike. You want to show those innocent civilians whose language and culture you don't even understand who's boss and who's a real manly man? Bomb them during peace negotiations with no warning. Which is exactly what the Americans and Israelis did. And don't forget to violate your own country's constitution by essentially going to war without consulting your Congress. Which is also what the United States did. And don't forget, when you're picking a country to go to war with in 2026, make sure that it is a country that is geographically and economically a complete fortress that literally no other world leader would be stupid enough to ever try and go to war with, which is why they've never done it before. That's the one you want to go to war with. Moving on to step number 2 of starting a war in the Middle East. Immediately declare victory for no reason. Don't listen to the fake news media, or the deep state bureaucrats, or the people who voted you into office, or the evidence of your eyes and ears. Just declare victory, okay? Just say you won. Never mind the fact that the war is still going on and you're still devoting billions of dollars of your taxpayers' money towards it, okay? You won that, okay? You say it with me. We won. We won. We won. Moving on to our third step of starting a war in the Middle East in 2026, all right? This is a very important one for 21st century warfare as it goes on. Bomb children. Use your exceptionally advanced intelligence network, use AI, use Palantir, use Peter Thiel as a sniffer dog to find the most innocent, vulnerable examples of young civilian life, and then, drop a hellfire missile on them. Not only does this assert super manly dominance, but it will also show them that you're not to be messed around with, and that you are, in fact, the most moral army in the world. Then you need to deny that you bombed those children, and potentially suggest that it was the enemy that bombed their own children as well. Because that makes sense. And if you really want to go the extra mile, I think what you should do is suggest that the enemy somehow used one of your missiles to bomb their own children as well. Just to be even more blatant about it. Oof. Get a pump in. So class, let's recap on where we are so far. We've gone after a country that is geographically impossible to wage a long-term war with. We've declared victory immediately. We've blown up some school children. What next? Obviously, we've won this war. However, what our experts said would happen has happened. Global trade has been disruptive. Now it's time to beg your allies for help. Maybe these might be allies that you have previously insulted, threatened, and infringed on the sovereignty of. Even better, beg them for help even more. Even though we've already said multiple times that we've already won the conflict and it won't be going on for very long. That contradiction is actually really important for making sure that this operation has aura. And remember, don't call it a war, call it an operation. So step 4, fairly straightforward. Beg the allies that you've previously insulted, belittled, and threatened for help in a conflict that you started and have already declared victory in. Just trust me on this one, trust me. And then when all of them say no, you need to say that you never needed them in the first place and that they're all cowards, okay? Trust me, it's an aura thing, they'll get it. Now for step 5. Step 5 is what you would call a 4D chess move. You beg for enormous amounts of taxpayers' money to continue funding this war that you said would not be going on for very long, that you've also already won. Beg for hundreds of billions of dollars worth of taxpayers' money at a time where no one can afford rent, no one can afford to eat, no one can afford leisure. Beg for hundreds, an obscene rage bait amount of money. Don't address the fact that your Secretary of Defense, who identifies as the Secretary of War, has just been exposed for spending $100 billion last September on donuts and pianos and lobster. Don't talk about that. It disrupts the alpha male energy of what you're doing. Step 6. The big one. Step 6 is what separates the men from the boys, and the boys from the girls, and the girls from the tunnels under Mar-a-Lago. Pretend I didn't say that. Step 6 in this war that won't be going on for long. This war that's already over. This war that we've basically won already. This war that is basically boots on the ground. We're going to do boots on the ground. Step 6 is sending thousands of young people from your country into the middle of the desert to conduct guerrilla warfare with a fanatical home defending force. Innumerable people will be losing their lives as we declare victory and say that the war is already over. Once again, just don't try not to talk about that too much. Focus on the alpha energy of putting boots on the ground in this country that is geographically impossible to invade, with a military that is not going to surrender, and a civilian population that are going to be martyred and sacrificed in their thousands. In a conflict that you cannot explain, that you are dedicating hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to at a time when no one has any money. So, as we move into step 7, let's take stock of where we are. We've gone to war due to a preemptive strike conducted by us. We declared victory, bombed some children, alpha male. We beg our allies for help in a conflict that we already claimed to have won, that we didn't need any help with, and then we say that we don't need any help with it to begin with. We've gotten ready to dedicate hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to this conflict that is supposedly not going to go on for a very long time, and now we're talking about boots on the ground. Step 7 is the beautiful part. Step 7 is the bit where you continue doing this for the next 15 to 20 years. You could pull out of this completely unnecessary military conflict. Sure, you could. You could spare all of the civilian lives and the lives of your own military personnel that would be needlessly thrown away for a reason that you can't explain. But where's the aura in that? For the absolute sigmas who have gotten to step 7 and are now fully into a forever war in the Middle East that essentially started for no reason at all, we salute you. May you reign forevermore, or until your party suffers existential defeat at the midterms and you get impeached and hopefully convicted. This has been Thotline's guide on how to go to war in the Middle East in 2026. Thank you ever so much. Like and subscribe. APAC bless all of you. Peace!